like women are seriously ready for emotionally intelligent men.
Kitty, what do you think?
Okay, let's talk about what emotional intelligence comes with before we even get into this conversation, okay? We're talking about you wanting a man who is tolerant, who regulates his emotions, who also knows how to manage your emotions. But you're also talking about a man who knows how to navigate his sensitivities and everything else when it comes to that. But you have to consider that an emotionally intelligent man is good at cutting people off when he sees that your sensitivities bring too much reactivity. When he sees that you cannot regulate your emotions. When he sees that you have a low tolerance. This type of man that you are asking for is a man who will walk you out the door in a heartbeat if he feels like you are disrupting his peace. If he feels like there's any level of disrespect, because there's a lot that comes with emotional intelligence. So if you asking for that, you got to come with the same level of emotional intelligence as well. Okay? That comes with a number of factors. So if you are a woman who knows that even though you may be sensitive to certain things like criticism, rejection, because you're not always going to be accepted. Sometimes he's going to bounce back, and sometimes he's going to say, I don't agree with your opinion. Sometimes he's going to say, I don't like those thoughts. Sometimes he's going to say, I don't like the way you speak to me. If you're not ready for that, don't be asking for an intelligent man.
Dude,
Man.
Yeah, do we need to replay that video? Do you ladies, y'all good? Gentlemen in the chat, y'all good? Or
Man.
She said a lot, dog.
That was a lot to unpack.
She said a lot. Yeah, dog. What you think? What's your initial reaction on that, bro?
I love everything she said.
Okay.
Especially towards the end. Me personally, and y'all know this, Tay, my brothers know this, I was at a bad place in my life where emotionally I was all over the place. I was just not responding well to what was going on around me, and I had to just do some reevaluating of myself and learn and figure out what the best version of myself. And I found the best version of myself is just being emotionally intelligent, but also realizing what around me is disrupting that and causing me to not be emotionally intelligent and not be in control of how I respond and be cognizant of the fact that I'm not okay with it, and it's okay for me to let somebody know. And if they don't like what I say, then that means they're not aligning with where I am emotionally and mentally. And it took me a while to realize it's okay to be that way. You know what I mean? It took me a while to realize it's okay to not allow somebody in my space because I'm trying to grow and trying to balance my emotions better so I can be more productive for myself, for my family, for my friends. I had to do the work. So when she broke down the fact that a man being conscious of his emotions, it's going to help you be conscious of those around you who are affecting your emotions and being okay to address it. So I was with it.
Yeah. Yo, man, that's 100% factual. It reminded me of the episode that we just did a few weeks ago, maybe, I think, about the comprehensive man. Yeah. And how the comprehensive man also embodies the emotional intelligent skill set that is needed, especially in a climate like this that we have. We live in a climate where everything is emotionally driven and emotionally based, even from the community of people who identify themselves as of another gender, and I think they even did a lot of things about the gender levels that there are, all this kind of stuff, and people feel a certain way, and based on those feelings, you can't say certain words, you can't use certain things. There's laws out now about certain words you can't use. I mean, we live in this type of climate, and if you take the feelings driven base mentality and you take that mentality and you put it in our dating culture here in America that we have, you're basically trying to establish relationships out of a feeling that's more fluid than it is based on structure. And so she's talking about a man, the young lady is saying about, hey, asking, are ladies ready for emotionally intelligent man? That means a man that has some structure about him as well.
Yes.
And that doesn't mean structure. It doesn't mean that he's boring. See, so we got to we have to understand how to compartmentalize these things because they're not conflated ideas. Just because a man has structure doesn't mean he's a boring guy. It's a lot of adventurous men, but they're very structured in what they do. There's a lot of ambitious men, but they're very structured and organized in how they operate. So this young lady is saying all the factors that go into emotional intelligence. These factors, this emotional intelligence, I have the book about it. The emotional intelligence theory and the whole idea of it is like about a 25-year-old idea. So it's fairly recent to our society when it comes to emotional intelligence. Yeah. So basically, that part of the emotional intelligence that she's referring to is the awareness of someone else's emotions. Okay. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Am I intelligent enough to be aware of that woman's emotion? You see, and that if I'm aware to do that, now the onus comes upon the woman. Can you reciprocate the same thing you're asking for? That's what she's talking about in the video. Can you can you reciprocate the very idea of what you're asking for? Because if you don't have the ability to reciprocate that thing, then that emotional intelligent man has no problem with divesting from you. He has no problem with saying, hey, you know what? I cannot continue in this with you. I'm going to have to remove myself from you because this right here, I'm not going to do this right here. This is my boundary. This is the boundary that leads me to what we talked about last week. You know what I'm saying? Like the red flag led me to the decision making on when to do the cutoff. And so that's what she's talking about in that video, which I totally agree with. It's like there are men who and we have been known to do emotional intelligence from a little boy. Tell your mama she look nice. Tell her she look good today. Make sure you love your mama. Blah blah. So that's our beginning stage. But there's a deeper route. There's a deeper route to where the emotional intelligence destination goes to. And I think that now we living in a place where we have to dive deeper into ourselves, because if we don't, we won't be able to establish a more foundational connection that's more concrete than it is fluid.